shoot her a quick note to see. Oh, wait, there she is.
Morning.
Good morning, Amy. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Morning. All right. So are we ready to start then? That's everybody?
I think we'll just make sure Mike gets back that he's got it going.
Okay.
He's running back and forth to two different offices. We're going to figure this out. We're, I think, month 12 or something doing this, and we're close. We almost have it figured out. You should have seen that we were troubleshooting the other day doing this thing, running in and out of offices with cell phones going to see if we could do it. And Mike LePerry's speaker on his phone is extremely it's powerful, and so he was picking up even the small noises coming off our phones, and so it was creating this loop. About every 10 seconds, you'd hear what you said previously, slightly fainter every time. We're like, what is going on?
Steve, I liken it to golf. It's never going to be figured out. We probably have literally 25 full-time IT people at our firm across the state, and we have all. I mean, they've been given an impossible job, so it's just it's never going to be perfect. But
I think I got faith about today. I feel confident. Knock on wood, I guess.
All right, good. Well, see if I can mess that up for you.
All right.
Are we ready to call to order then? For the Yates Capital Resource Corporation. I don't think we have any guests. Right? Russ, is your partner involved yet?
Looks like he's logging on right now.
yeah, Ron, but don't worry about it. Just go ahead and get started.
All right. So our first item on the agenda is an executive session if needed. Do we have one that we need today?
I don't believe so. We do have a change. No, I think we're good. We don't need one.
Okay. And then we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Did everybody have a chance to read through those? And are there any comments or questions? If not, could we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Kim.
Second, Amy.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. Steve, are there any changes in the agenda?
There is. Under action items, we need to add Cuca College bond resolution.
Okay. Very good. Doreen, do you want to take us through the finance report?
I have nothing to report today.
One thing to report. It's Doreen's birthday this morning. So happy birthday, Doreen.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Should we sing? Another day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we'll move on beyond the finance report to the action items. So the first one is the 2020 audit approval. We had the presentation at the previous meeting, but now the statements are in final form, as I understand it. So we're just looking to approve the final statements.
That's correct. So there's no changes. You had a little bit longer chance to look at them. Like you said, we got the finals, so we need to make just a formal approval of those audits.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this before we ask for a motion? Okay. Anybody would like to make a motion?
So moved, Kim.
Okay.
Second, Janice.
Thanks. Kim and Janice, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, carried. We'll move on to action item number 2, and it's the Cuca College bond resolution. Steve or Mike, do you want to give us a summary of that?
This goes back to the bond we did originally in misplaced my resolution, 2010. And it's, we're basically, anytime we do, again, trying to catch up maybe some of the newer board members, we can allocate tax exempt bonds where we're basically, and Russ, you can correct me as soon as I misspeak, but basically we're a conduit. So a nonprofit or sometimes a manufacturer, but can finance a project using tax exempt bonds. They can do it through whatever banking institution they'd like to do. And almost similar to our property tax abatements, it funnels through us because we're a tax exempt entity. But we're really just sitting there signing papers to help lower the interest rate for the borrower. In this case, CUCA has been working with the bondholder and some other institutions to make some changes to the bond to help with some of their financial positioning, and are just asking us approval to sign off on those modification agreements. Again, they're not doing anything different. It's just making a different some different changes maybe in who they're banking with or some of the amounts they're paying.
Yeah, this is Russ. So this is not, unfortunately, atypical right now with what's going on with not-for-profit borrowers and universities and other institutions that have borrowed both on a taxable and a tax-exempt basis. Business is down. So banks are working with them to either enter into a forbearance agreement or extend when principal payments are due. And essentially, KeyBank, which is the holder of the CUCA College debt, and CUCA College have agreed to amend certain terms of the financial transaction. And as Steve noted, because we were the conduit issuer, we have to basically authorize the execution of those documents as the issuer. Doesn't impact us in any way, shape, or form. It's a business deal between CUCA College and KeyBank, and we're in the middle of it as a conduit issuer. So that's basically what's being proved today. They're essentially extending a purchase date to October, and then deferring principal for a few months. My guess is they will be back for additional extensions. But like I said, this is happening. I literally have done dozens of these over the last year or so. All have a little bit of a different business deal, but this is pretty standard stuff.
Okay, thanks, Russ.
I'm obviously going to abstain, but if anybody has additional questions, I can answer them. So everything is related to the USDA loan and to restructuring the college's debt. This isn't an issue of not being able to pay. This is an issue of extending the term of the bonds.
Right. And Harris Beach, and the odd flip of the coin here is actually we represented CUCA College back on this transaction before we became counsel to the IDA. So I'm familiar with the transaction. And so, again, this is nothing out of the ordinary. And, we will be delivering the necessary opinions for the bank. And hopefully we won't be back, but they may come back.
Yeah, it's probable that it'll take more than one step, to your point, Russ, to get us to where we need to be. But we're hopeful that we've negotiated with the bank to get to a point where the bonds, we've got like 3 years. So not just to October, but for 3 years. And we want to pay them off completely. The college is trying to separate itself from its relationship with KeyBank, and this is the step on the way to doing that. So I don't know if people remember, but we were with KeyBank. KeyBank is not friendly to non-local entities, so finding a local bank is desirable. So we switched to a local bank, which was then acquired by KeyBank. So we're back with KeyBank. So again, this is one important step on the way towards extricating ourselves from the relationship with Key, and extending the term of the bonds will give us a little bit of breathing room but we want to pay them off completely and get out of this relationship. So
Yeah, since we're in public session, I will reserve comments on KeyBank. So I understand completely. And again, for purposes of the IDA's involvement in this, it's just, a pro forma sign off.
My only question, Russ, real quick, is in the second paragraph that says First Niagara Bank.
Yes, so that was the bank we were with, and then Key acquired them.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Niagara was acquired by KeyBank.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay, so Mike LaPerry emailed the resolution last Friday, so I think everybody's had a chance to review it. We will do a roll call vote on this too, but could we start with a motion to approve?
So moved, Janice.
Seconded, Kim.
And Kim, okay, thanks. Doreen or Steve, do you want to take us through the roll call?
Sure. Ryan?
Yes.
Janice? Yes. Doreen is absent. Kim?
Yes.
Marianne?
Yes.
Bill Holgate?
Yes.
And Amy?
Abstain.
Okay. So motion is carried. Is there any other business before the Capital Resource Corp today?
I'll just bring it up because the next one says next meeting. Serene let us know that she will have a conflict. She now has a meeting every third Wednesday that she won't be able to get off until about 8:30. So I was going to just question the rest of the board. If we move this to 8:30, is that troublesome for anyone so that she can get on? If it is, it's okay. We can stay where we're at. If there is some flexibility, then we can think about it. We don't have to answer it now, but that would.
It's fine with me, Steve. I'm open all morning.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too. Fine.
Okay with me.
That works.
Okay. All right. Then
Okay.
that's all.
So our next meeting may start a half an hour later.
That's right.
All right. So could we have a motion to adjourn the CRC meeting?
So moved, Kim.
Okay.
Second, Janice.
Thanks, Janice. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. So then we'll call to order the next meeting, which is the Horizon Development Corporation. What are we, 8:14? Russ, would you want to introduce your guest for us now too?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So Steve Meyer, I think I migrated anyway, lower left is a colleague attorney of mine at Harris Beach that's helping me do a lot of work behind the scenes. And I thought that it would be worthwhile for him to show his face to the board so they can at least see who else besides me they're dealing with by video anyway. So he's doing a great job and been very helpful.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Russ. Do we have an executive session for the HEDC, Steve?
I don't believe we need one.
Okay. So has everybody had a chance to review the minutes, and are there any questions or changes to suggest? If not, could we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
At the top.
Seconded.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, carried. Any changes in the agenda for this meeting, Steve?
No.
All right, how about the finance report then, Doreen?
Sure. I have one check for the Finger Lakes Horizon, number 314 for $100. We support Friends of the Outlet. And then under the Main Street grant, under that same entity, I have check numbers 2 and number 3 totaling $3,202.50. I don't have anything else to report.
Okay. I think I asked this last time. We don't formally need a resolution to approve this, right? It's an informational report, or would you like a resolution?
No, we need to approve paying the bill.
Okay, paying the checks. All right. So
Yeah.
then we have a motion to approve paying the items.
So moved, Amy.
Second.
Second.
Alrighty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. Any of the action items here, we have the 2020 audit approval. Again, same with the CRC. We had the full presentation at the last meeting, and then the reports are now finalized and were sent to us for review. Does anybody have any question on the audited financial reports? Okay, if there are no questions or comments, then I'd entertain a motion to approve or accept the audit.
So moved, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. A second from someone?
Second,
Janice,
Marion.
second.
All right. Thanks, Janice. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that is carried. So our next meeting, I assume that meeting will then start, half an hour later as well. The same comment from the prior meeting. And I think if we could have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Kim.
Second.
Janice.
Thanks, Kim. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, that's carried. So we are adjourned from that meeting, and then finally here, we'll start with the FLEDC meeting. We'll call that to order here at 8:17 a.m. and welcome our guests with Harris Beach. And is there an executive session to start us off with here, Steve?
Yeah, we need an executive session to discuss the proposed acquisition of real estate and discuss the financials of a particular company.
Okay.
Give me just a couple minutes to shut down the live stream and I'll be right back.
Okay.
We need a motion to go into executive
Could
session.
we have a motion to enter into executive session, please?
So moved, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Seconded, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And we should be back live.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Could we have a motion to enter open session?
So moved, Kim.
Second, Amy.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right, carried. So our next item on the agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from our March 17th meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those? And are there any questions?
Questions?
Okay, hearing none, could we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve, Mary Ann.
Thank you.
Seconded, Kim.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, carried. Any changes in the agenda for this meeting, Steve?
No.
Okay, we'll then turn it over to Doreen for the finance report.
I don't know if anybody had any questions on any of the reports. And then I have total checks of $64,714.79 with check numbers 5520 to 5545 and E44 to E47 for payroll and New York State retirement.
Okay, I will note that Serene just entered the meeting here at 8:38, so we can enter that in the minutes. Welcome, Serene.
Morning, Serene.
We're in
Good morning.
on item 5 for the finance report right now.
Great, thank
So,
you.
Doreen, you just went over the checks. Anything else to share on that?
I do not.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the P&L and balance sheet or any of the loan aging reports that were shared? It's another solid month and a great start to the year, tracking ahead of budget. So that's nice to see all the project activity and the results. Okay, if there are no questions, then how about a motion to approve the finance report and to pay the bills?
So moved, Kim.
Second, Mary Ann.
Okay, that's it. Right. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's carried. How about our management reports or status report? Who wants to start?
We'll let the birthday girl go first.
I would like to report that tomorrow is Steve's birthday.
Oh.
We're lambasted here. I have nothing new to add. Most of my stuff will be under action items. I don't know if anyone's got any questions. I thank everyone for returning your conflicts of interest, and then anybody that still owes me, if you could please get them to me, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay, thanks, Doreen. Thanks for the tip on Steve's birthday. Michael Perry, do you want to go next?
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is we're continuing to assist and try and manage some of the DRI projects forward. Trying to get some movement on them and get them to a stage where we can start seeing some construction. I've had numerous conversations with 104, 106 Main Street, which is a DRI project, but is also listed for sale right now. There are several interested buyers, as well as the owner considering pulling that listing and continuing forward with her project. It's some good potential projects that could be coming in there, and depending on which route it goes, I'm encouraged by either option, and that we'll finally be seeing some progress with that building here in the next few months by the time you get through all the the changes if they are there. Other than that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Now, Steve looks frozen on my screen. I don't know if he's
I'm just not moving.
with us or if it's just on my end.
I just wasn't moving.
Okay.
That's I was trying to find it. I assumed there might be a question here. Let's see. On the only updates I think I will give. If you saw reported, one of the projects that's taking up some time is the Greenwich generation plan to build 4 more buildings on their property that will house additional cryptocurrency mining servers. They went through the town planning board meeting 2 nights ago, I believe it was Monday night, and did get approval. The town issued a negative declaration on the seeker, and also gave approval on the site plan itself. I think the vote both times was 4-1, which is the votes they needed to move forward. So that will continue on, and so that's good news for Greenwich. They've been hiring more people. They think Dale mentioned, I believe he mentioned another 10 to 12 employees they'll probably be adding here in the near future. A particular interest for me anyways on this is that they're adding employees that we generally don't have yet, at least a lot of in the county, which is more of that tech-based employment. So I think that's kind of interesting and neat to see the growth of that, regardless of the fact that there's still a whole bunch of uncertainty, and I think because of that leads to fear of what cryptocurrency mining is. I know I continue to try to figure it out and continue to be confused by it, but anyways, that's a big project for them, and that is moving forward. And then the last one I'll give is that I had mentioned starting this project with Jenny Joyner from Keuka College on this project she has been doing for a couple of years now, called Who is Penn Yan? And it's a really neat idea from on her part, where she has her English students come in, and I've sort of described this already, but and just interview local residents, and she's done it in elementary school students, and then residents of the manor at the hospital, just to tell their life story. And at the end, her assignment is to, based on these 3-page short stories, who is the person, who is Penn Yan, when you collect all these different histories together. So we had our first interview out in the cold yesterday. So I appreciated all the participants who were in it, sitting there freezing. It took me the better part of the day to warm back up. But it was really neat. I had a whole bunch of feedback very quickly from the individuals who were being interviewed by the students, that they really enjoyed it. Nobody was sure what to expect coming in. Two vans came into Indian Pines Park, unloaded. An army of students came out, and we were trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to organize this? I assume we'll just sort of have an introductory, okay, find your student, and the student is just like an army. Came in, found our name tags, and immediately introduced themselves and went off and started talking to the individuals. So I thought it was really pretty neat. We got 2 more sessions with them. Next Tuesday is our second sort of interview session with them, and then the following Tuesday, the students present their stories to the individuals. The part that was neat, it gave me a whole bunch more ideas, and Mary Ann and I have talked about this often as part of the Keuka College Community Associates Board. How do we bridge together Keuka personnel and students to the local community? And it's why I was really kind of excited about this project, because it's doing exactly that. There's students the 2 students that interviewed me, unfortunately, they drew my name, which I'm sure the it turned into me interviewing them almost the entire time about what they know of the area and what they think of the area. And it was everything I assumed they would say. They love it, but they don't know anything of the area. They had the one girl who was a junior at Keuka had just the previous weekend discovered Mac's Ice Cream Bar for the first time since she's been there. The other girl who was interviewing me didn't know what she was talking about. She had never been there. Neither of them had ever been to the Wagner for breakfast, which I thought was fascinating. That, after a weekend of whatever they do, I can't believe you don't end up at some point at the Wagner to try to help yourself out a little bit. But they mentioned that their life is they run down Liberty Street, Lake Street, and they hit Taco Bell and McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. And that's what they know of the area, and they want to discover more. So it gave me some ideas for our next community associates board meeting on some things we could do to help them with that. And I think along with that, drag some of the professors and faculty members on almost a familiarization tour, just to see different places, meet some different people, and get them engaged. Because just in 2 meetings I've had now with sort of the fine arts side of Keuka College, it's led into a bunch of ideas, a bunch of projects with students working with different members in the community that we hadn't had before. And it took 2 meetings to make it work. So, and the part that I thought was most exciting is, and not surprising, the willingness and eagerness on both sides to do that. So when you got people willing on both sides to come together to try to expand that relationship, it shouldn't be too hard to do. So I'm excited by that and hope it leads to even more projects. So,
hey, Steve, a question for you and Amy.
Yep.
Amy, I assume you guys have, I enjoy the fireworks from the fall weekend every year. So thank you for that. They're absolutely gorgeous. But could we integrate the businesses into that weekend? Like Max's comes with, they come and serve ice cream or whatever. And, Spotted Duck is there, and I'll, just gather up the community to go to that. I think it's a parents' weekend or something. Sorry if I'm misspeaking. Do you already do that?
We do. So it's family weekend and it's homecoming.
Right.
So it's all of the above, where a lot of colleges would separate those things. And we also include the community in all of that. So Kathy Way is obviously instrumental in making sure that it's publicized to all the local businesses. We usually have a presence of wineries, vineyards on campus. So there's a wine tasting, a beer tasting. We haven't had ice cream, though. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't. We have had Seneca Farms on campus from time to time, but none of the other, not Spotted Duck or any other ice cream places. So there's no reason why we couldn't do that. But I think that when the community comes to campus, they realize it's not that far away.
Right.
There are frequently families that I see that say, we've never set foot on campus before. But that's why we have the horse-drawn carriage rides and the bounce houses and the face painting, because that's usually what draws some of the community members to campus. Yeah. But that's certainly not the only opportunity. I think,
of course,
we've lost ground in the past year, obviously, because of the pandemic and because we closed campus to anybody except people that actually live and work here in order to protect both the campus community and the surrounding community. But this summer, I'm hoping that we can open Point Nyamo again, that there will be swimming, and that, we can start to reconnect with each other, because it's been weird to be in this bubble. I will also say, though, that not so much right now, but we, as you know, had a large population of Asian students on campus because of our partnerships in China and Vietnam. And some members of the surrounding community were not friendly towards those students, particularly when the coronavirus first broke out. So I know that we've been seeing nationwide, there have been some issues with respect to how Asian Americans are treated, and that our students were not immune to that experience either. So I think that any opportunity that we have to learn more about each other is a good one, and we are certainly open to that. We do more fireworks? And Steve, I think
Sorry.
yeah, no, people love it. We do them on the 4th too.
Yeah,
but
they're spectacular.
We had that one event at the Lucina too, where we invited a lot of community members and the faculty and staff from the college, and that intermingling is just really important, I think. So thank you for the question, Janice.
Well, I would love to help. I mean, Steve knows I'm all about, getting our stories out there because we have so many gems. And, I was thinking of the different ways to integrate into things you're already doing, right? But how can we help you guys do? I know Kathy's marvelous, so nothing against Kathy, but is there a way for the Economic Development Council to help support those businesses and, I don't know, have whatever. Anyway, Steve's telling me to shut up with his eyes, I can tell, so I'll be quiet.
No, I don't think it is, because when it comes to untapped potential, I would say that Keuka College is what we call a suitcase campus. A lot of our students leave on the weekends and go back to wherever they're from. And they will say, well, there's nothing to do. And that blows my mind, because we spend a lot of time explaining that there's a lot to do. So if they were to choose to stay here, that would mean more economic development for Yate County.
Absolutely.
So there's opportunity there.
Okay.
I brought that up to the two young women that interviewed me, and I said, so what do you think those people do that go home? The students do that go home on the weekends. They sit at their house and do nothing. I'm like, right, that's what I expected you to say. So yeah, they might as well stay.
Well, anyway, Amy, Steve, whatever I can do to help,
Thank you,
I would love to
appreciate it.
Contribute. Be fun.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for the discussion. And Steve and team, do you guys have any more status updates for us?
I do not.
Okay, let's move on to our action items then. And we have quite a list here. We'll go through one at a time, and anybody please speak up if you have questions, and we'll go through this. So the first item is the formal approval of the audit report, as we've done with the other entities. We had the presentation for Bonadeo last meeting. This is to formally accept and approve the full report. Are there any questions on the report or on the financials in general? Again, noting a strong financial position, the clean audit report, and I know Mark commented on the cooperation from the management team and how accessible information was. So I think that is a nice compliment to Doreen and the team on helping get the audit report pulled together. And it's always good to hear from at a board level that that everything's working in a cooperative manner. So thanks, guys. So with that, could we entertain a motion for approval and acceptance of the audit report?
So moved, Kim.
Second?
Second, Mary Ann.
Thanks, Mary Ann. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that one's carried. Item number 2 here is initial resolution for coaching equipment.
Yeah, my apologies. I should have caught that in section 4 changes. That it's not an initial resolution. It's a pilot transfer or conveyance of the assignment assumptions from Gordon Randall Properties LLC to Coach and Equipment Real Estate LLC. Back in 2016, the IDA approved a straight leaseback incentive for Gordon Randall Properties LLC, which was a metal manufacturing facility. They are now selling that real estate and building that they constructed to Coach and Equipment for an expansion project they have going on. And the resolution is to assign the responsibilities and incentives, a part of that pilot, to Coach and Equipment real estate properties. Coach and Equipment's going to be using it for product development. Specifically, they want to try and develop an all-electric paratransit bus. So that's what they'll be doing in the new facility. The pilot was a traditional 15-year pilot with the first 5 years at 100% property tax abatement and decreasing 10% each year for the remaining 10 years of the pilot. We're currently, the tax incentives took place in 2018. And so they're still receiving, and if approved, the transfer would still be 100% abatement for Coach and Equipment until 2022, when they would start paying 10% of the increased property tax value. The pilot term would go through 2032, when it would be 100% property tax liability for Coach and Equipment. There's no changes to the original structure. As a result, we don't have to hold any public hearing. There was a public hearing held for Gordon Randall Properties. All those incentives are still the same. It's just a transfer of the pilot from Gordon Randall to Coach and Equipment.
Okay. Are there any questions from anybody on that? I'm going to abstain from this vote because I have a lending relationship and I've worked directly with the seller, Gordon Randall Properties. So although they're getting out of this, I think that's probably safer just to abstain from that. And this will be a roll call vote. But I guess before that, is there any questions here? Last chance. Okay, how about a motion to approve?
This is Bill. I'll make the motion.
Seconded, Kim.
Second.
Okay, thanks, Bill and Kim. And then Doreen, you can take us through the roll call.
Yep. Bill?
Bill.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. Amy?
Yes.
Janice?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Marianne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Abstain.
Okay. And Serene?
Yes.
Okay, thanks everyone. That one's carried. We'll stay with Doreen here for item number 3, which are the lease renewals.
Okay, they were sent status report. I don't know if anybody's got any questions. Any of them? Actually, the one change is for Wintech Bill Winsman. That lease is going to just be in Bill Winsman's name. He has retired from his business, but does want to keep the small office here. Get him out of the house. And then we have the Keuka College, which is basically an office for the Startup New York program. Kathy Gernald with KG Graphics. Hotbed Lacrosse, and Dr. Shapiro.
With Amy.
Need a motion to approve the CEO to sign the leases, or the chairman, whichever you prefer.
Maybe we separate out the Keuka College lease renewal from the others. So we do a motion for the others as a group and then do a separate motion for the Keuka lease renewal, if that's okay. And Amy would abstain from that one. Okay. Are there any questions I should ask first? Okay. If not, then for all the leases, not including Keuka College, could we have a motion to approve those leases?
So moved, Amy.
Okay.
Second, Marianne.
Okay, thanks. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that one's carried. How about a motion now to approve the lease to Keuka College?
So moved, Kim.
Second, Janice.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention?
Abstain, Ryan.
Yeah, all right. Gotcha. Thanks, Amy. All right, so that's carried as well. Our next item will again be with Doreen, I believe, but it's the CD renewal.
Yep, the rates have really gone down since the last time that we renewed. They had gone down at that time as well. Community Bank said they were not doing anything, so that was all zero. They'd be happy to take our money, but we wouldn't earn anything on it. So I don't know if anybody's got any recommendations. I'm not sure with the other items we have going on, how long we want to extend that money out, or even I didn't really get a chance to discuss it. So
My only comment. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
No, fire away, Ryan.
And I will abstain from the vote because the bank is involved, would be with everything else going on, I think, and with the potential for a more rising rate environment coming up at some point, that to stay on the shorter term of obligations would make sense. 2, 3, 4 months or less, I would think would be the most prudent thing to do. But other than that, I will stay out of the discussion here.
we can do the 90 days at 0.20.
I would suggest, there's no difference at all between the 30-day and the 90 days. So as long as we don't mind you going through this again, Doreen, in 30 days, keep it shorter. And it frees up some flexibility if we need to use it for whatever purposes. So
that's fine.
My suggestion for there would be to go with Wayne Bank of the Finger Lakes for 30 days at the 0.20.
Okay. Is there any questions from anybody on that? Okay. Could there be a motion to approve?
So moved, Kim.
This Bill, I'll make the motion.
Seconded, Kim.
Second, Bill.
You guys got each other covered.
However.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And I will abstain. So record that. Okay. And the next item then is the ratification of the purchase contract that we've discussed at our previous meetings, but I don't know if Russ, if you want to frame it up any more than that.
No, I think you can just, if you're changing talking about changing the time and date or the time of the meetings.
No, we're talking about
the purchase agreement.
I'm sorry. As discussed in previous meetings, Steve, as the executive director, was authorized to enter into a purchase and sale agreement based upon certain business terms. That has now been signed and finalized, and I think it's just prudent and best practices for the board to ratify the execution and delivery of that document. So just an motion to that effect, ratifying and approving the purchase contract that was previously discussed and has subsequently been executed by the executive director.
The CEO.
CEO, I'm sorry.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Okay. Could we have a motion to approve?
So motion to Janice.
I'll second, Serene.
Okay, Marianne and Serene, this will be a roll call vote, I believe.
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Janice?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Marianne?
Yes.
Ryan?
Abstain?
And Serene?
Yes.
And Steve, can you do me a favor before I forget? Just send me a copy of that, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So that's carried. We'll move on to item number 6 here. This is an initial resolution for the pending housing development project.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Get this order, Russ, before I forget. So we received an application. I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, we'll go off memory. From Cuca Solar Village, Pinion Solar, or gosh, where the heck to go?
The Solar Village Company LLC.
Thank you, Mike. Solar Village Company LLC for the construction of 85 net zero energy apartments. So it'll be fully using renewable energy on Bath Road. So they sent us the application. Mike sent out the project summary to the board, so I don't necessarily have to rehash that. But I will ask if there's any questions on it. Total project cost, again, $15.1 million. Add in the limited amount of employees. Obviously, this is we're not doing this for them to create jobs, but we are in need of additional housing units. Ask any of the employers how easy it is to find employees right now. And they'll tell you it's not. Add in the amount of potential pilot payments they will make over a 10-year term, and you have a total investment by the company, or the total community benefit, of $16.6 million. The total proposed incentives equal $1.6 million. So you get basically a 10-to-1 ratio of benefits to investment from the community's behalf. I'll tell you that I'm assuming I'm overestimating the total benefits, at least on the property tax abatement side, to the company. They are asking for our standard non-manufacturing schedule, which is the 10-year pilot starts at 100% of the increased value year one, with a 90% break in year two, 80% in year three, and so on, reducing 10% every year. The reason I think I'm overestimating that a little bit is I have it all going forward right away. And he believes, the developer believes, it's going to take, they're going to go quick, but he still believes it'll take closer to 18 months, 2 years to get them all built. But I have them all in year one, purposely trying to show more incentives than what they will probably actually realize. And that's purposely done because, again, as I mentioned before, the state gets upset if we estimate low and they actually receive high. So we tend to estimate high and hope they receive something a little bit lower than that. Because the investments, the total incentives are going to be over $100,000, it will trigger the need for a public hearing. So that's really all we're doing here, is we're seeking approval from the board, acknowledging they have submitted their application for financial assistance, and will allow us and the team at Harris Beach to get that public hearing scheduled and take community input from it. Happy to take any questions on the project.
Does anybody have anything for Steve? Okay, hearing none. Could we have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved, Kim.
Okay, a second.
I'll second Serene.
Thanks, Serene. This will be a roll call again for Dory.
Brian,
Yes.
Janice,
Yes.
Serene,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Marianne,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Amy.
Yes.
Okay, that's carried. Item 7 here on the agenda for Mike LaPerry. We have a pending loan application.
Yes, we've received a loan request from Assembly Ave LLC, which is the real estate holding company for Lion Smith Brewing Company. Lion Smith Brewing has recently reopened their doors at a new location on Assembly Ave. They are seeking a $45,000 loan to assist with the construction of a concrete patio and finalizing the outdoor space at the new brewery. The total project cost would be $50,000. Terms of the loan would be 1% fixed interest, assuming they sign up for automatic payments. If not automatic payments, it would be 2%. It would be a 5-year term. Collateral on the mortgage would be a mortgage in second position, a UCC filing, and personal guarantees from majority owners Sarah Lyon, Dave Smith, and Bruce Lyon. The proposed project is set to create 5 full-time equivalent positions over the next 3 years, which includes retail assistants, sales representative, office and retail manager, assistant brewer, and event personnel. The loan review committee did review this project. They are in favor of the project and believe it is it would be a strong addition to the brewery that would help both the business, help improve the business as well as the community. They are in need of some additional follow-up information, so we are seeking conditional approval today. The condition being that the required follow-up information is received by the committee and accepted, and that they issue a majority vote to approve the loan based on such follow-up item.
That sounds good, Mike. Are there any questions from anybody based on that summary? All right, if not, we would entertain a motion for the conditional approval as stated.
So moved, Janice.
Seconded, Kim.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. And I will abstain. So we one abstention. All right, so that's carried. Anything else to discuss here today?
I don't think so, other than Serene probably didn't hear. We know you have a conflict, Serene, going forward. So the board, if it would help you, can adjust our starting times to 8:30 going forward.
Oh my goodness, that would be great. And I do want to apologize to the team. We have an all staff meeting in the morning once a month, and it conflicts with this meeting here. And I do quite a bit of supporting in the background for it. So that's why I was hoping that by this meeting, I'd be able to have somebody else be able to help support. I'm hoping that maybe next meeting, but if we could move this one, then that would be helpful. But I just figured it'd be easier for me to figure things around versus having to rearrange our meeting for all of our staff. But if we're not able to, that's okay. I'll see if I can at least do one-on-one, like be at one month and be at the other the next month. But if it works for us to change it at 8:30, that would be very helpful.
Yep. We agreed in the earlier meeting to start at 8:30 for next month, and then we'll stay in touch and see how that's going with you. But it seemed like everybody was open to keeping it at 8:30 if that's helpful for you. So.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I really appreciate it. Just so that you guys, just for full disclosure, so for that Wednesday, I have at 7:30 we have our meeting till 8:30. Then I get in the car and take my daughter to school, so that I start off my day in the car. But I do have my earbuds in. She's 9, so she doesn't hear or understand any of the stuff anyway. And then I come into the office. So that's where my morning is, if you guys were wondering.
Thanks for the update. All right. Anybody have anything else before we adjourn? All right. How about a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that
moved,
motion.
Kim. Sorry. Seconded, Kim.
All right. And all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
See you, Bill. I don't have to abstain from this one. So that one's carried, and we are adjourned.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.